MRN Crew Call on MRN.com is presented by MoneyLion, the world's most powerful financial membership. MoneyLion, here we roar. And also brought to you by Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
All right. You're going to learn today. I'm your host with the most, Rocko Williams, here on the MRN Crew Call. And I'm not alone today. I'm so excited. I have my boy. I can call you my ace, man. I really can. You know, I don't care if anybody knows it. You know, I'll probably get a lot of slack on pit road, you know, because I'm fanboying a little bit. But Chad Avrit is in the studio with us. Rear tire changer on the number 9 Chevy Camaro, right? Is that right? Did I say that right?
That's right.
Chevy Camaro ZL1.
That's right.
Driven by Chase Elliott. Chad Avrit, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming in today.
Absolutely. I appreciate the invite.
Yeah, the weekend that was at Atlanta. Triple header in Atlanta, my hometown track. In a nutshell, how was your weekend?
Ooh, our weekend was a little tough.
Little tough.
Yeah, you have the new setup. It was kind of the first track we had to...
Well, first of all, let me stop you there. It wasn't called a setup on TV. It was called a package.
The package, okay.
The package.
The new package.
But we can say setup. I like setup better.
We got to work out the kinks and figure it out. So we had our ups and downs. We're working on it. I think we have a good foundation to move forward.
Well, hey, like I say, it's only the second race of the year.
True.
So like I said, Atlanta was, from my perspective, the first true test we were going to see as it relates to pit crew athletes and performing pit stops. So I don't know. You'll get it together.
Oh yeah,
Don't let it happen on the third one. It's a
marathon, not a sprint. We've been using that often.
Anyways, for our listeners, you'll be able to hear about our weekend. But for those watching, I have some slaw cam footage for you available. So let's take a look at how Atlanta looked through my eyes, through my slaw cam, if you don't mind, and then we'll get back and talk about it some more.
All right.
Gentlemen.
What's up, buddy?
Welcome to my hometown.
Is this your hometown?
Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Well, we'll get a win for you, bro.
I like that.
Yeah.
And Crew Call's back on.
Nice. These are the stars of the Crew Call, right?
Season 2. Oh, yeah. Those are my clutch coffee performance right there. Who's winning now? New York Pit Crew.
I'm a fan right here.
That's your fan.
I'm a fan right here.
Oh, no.
Here's a legend.
Oh, that's the family.
Here's a legend. How you doing, City?
Stop talking about yourself like you're looking in the mirror.
Yeah, y'all better have good pit stops now.
I have the pleasure of schooling Miss Lisa Ray. We're going to make you a NASCAR fan here yet.
I'm already a NASCAR fan. You just educated me more in a deeper way now.
New NASCAR fan. New NASCAR fan. We're going to see.
NASCAR.
Hey, we got a pit stop coming up. You ready to watch it?
I am so ready to watch it.
All right, tune in. Lisa Ray's pit stop. There you have it. That was my weekend through my eyes at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Chad, they didn't show your video on there, but
I was just going to bring that up. I mean, I got to meet Miss Lisa Ray and everything, and I didn't see that on there at all.
she came up to pit road. What did Miss Lisa Ray say to you when she came up to your pit box?
Well, I mean, she did her normal, like, hello, how are you? But then she informed me that white was her favorite color. So I had to show her all the white parts of my fire suit and make sure she liked them.
No, she did. She was very impressed. And that was a funny story how Lisa Ray got to the track. She wasn't even aware that she was coming to the racetrack. She thought she was going to the gym. And her friend who brought her to the track, she was planning to wait in the car. And I'm like, no way we can have Miss Lisa Ray wait in the car. NASCAR hooked her up with hot passes and credentials, and she became a race fan that day, and the impact that you guys made on her walking down pit road. I mean, it opened up her eyes, and you can just tell, when you see a new race fan, you see that twinkle in the eyes.
Oh, yeah.
She had that.
She did. She looked very nice to go to the gym.
Well, I might have been fanboying on you, but I'm definitely a Lisa Ray groupie. So, that was a highlight of my trip. But enough of Lisa Ray. We got to talk pit stops, and I definitely want to talk about you as well, and just how you got your start in the sport, Chad. How did you get into the sport?
I kind of moved out here from California to North Carolina, and I was fortunate enough to be in the same place when Red Bull was holding one of their combines.
Okay.
So, which a lot of the teams now host their own combines and invite athletes out. And I was fortunate enough to attend the combine, and I was one of the athletes that they chose out of the combine.
Really? And you are from California?
Yeah, Southern California.
Southern California. Was racing really big growing up for you?
So it wasn't huge. Like there was more of like the off-road scene out there,
okay.
Desert racing and stuff like that. But my dad did always have it on Sundays. Like when I would pass the TV on a Sunday, it was normally on whether he was watching it or he was walking by it. He just had it on just in case something happened. So I did end up getting a dirt car and kind of playing around with a little bit of the off-road or
Explain,
racing
what
stuff.
do you mean, getting a dirt car?
So at the
you
time,
went to Walmart and got a dirt car?
No, so I had friends that were racing dirt cars, and one ended up, there was a car one of my friends wanted to sell, and my mom was super excited about it. She always liked racing. So she ended up buying this dirt car and talked me into driving it, and of course I wasn't going to say no. So when I lived in Phoenix, I used to drive back and forth from Phoenix to California just to drive it every other weekend. So my dad did all the work, and I would just basically show up and drive it. It was great.
And how many years is this for you now?
Ooh, great question. This might be my 12th season.
12th season.
Yeah.
Well, so much more I want to talk to you about. We're going to get into all that. Guys, stay by your phones. We're going to be right back.
Next time those engines roar, don't just get pumped up. Get 5% cash back with MoneyLion. Our members get 5% cash back on up to $2,000 in annual purchases of tickets to a NASCAR race from authorized ticket sellers. You'll also get 5% off any at-track purchases and all purchases on NASCAR.com. Just use your MoneyLion debit card and it couldn't be easier. Join the world's most powerful financial membership, MoneyLion. Here we roar.
Experience different.
Boyer sees the checkered flag.
Experience excitement, drama, and action.
And he wins the STP 500.
Experience NASCAR at its best. Experience Martinsville. The Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series returns to Martinsville Speedway March 24th for the STP 500. Tickets start at just $47 and are on sale now. Call 877-RACE-TICKS or visit martinsvillespeedway.com today to start your experience.
Check out MRN.com for a new podcast series called The Tough Trucks of NASCAR. 25 years and still trucking. We'll take you back to some great races.
Benson to the bottom of the racetrack. This is the race for the lead and the win at Michigan.
And some wild moments.
One truck is in the air. Matt Crafton upside down.
And we'll let you hear the stories behind them.
He was too bullheaded to let me pass him, and I was too bullheaded to let him have it.
Download the show for free on iTunes and at MRN.com.
All right. Rocko Williams, and I'm back. MRN Crew Call presented by MoneyLion. We have Chad Avrit, 10-plus year veteran. He says 12 years, you said?
I believe so. Who's counting?
When were we working together?
A couple years ago.
We were just a couple of years?
Yeah.
Seems like forever.
Starting in 2012 till you decided to retire.
Are you the oldest? Are you the most polished? The most seasoned crew member on your team?
I'd love to say no, but yes.
Okay, so with that being said, is there any pressure for you to be a leader for your team?
I guess there's a little bit of pressure. I don't technically see it as pressure. It's more of the ability to help mold or show the younger people coming into the sport a little bit of work ethic, like professionalism, stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I guess you could call it pressure.
Yeah, really. So how do you respond to it? How do you prepare for that each week?
Well, it's not that I have to prepare for it every week. I think I just make sure what I'm doing at any moment is what you would want to see. You know, like a younger individual, you want to teach them how to do things right, or like you don't want them to learn the hard way. You want to help them out so they know that that's just the right way to do it the first time instead of trying to find shortcuts for anything else.
Yeah, but I'm sure there's a balance behind that, because I feel like you're so confident in what you do and doing what you do that you can teach anybody what you want and you can guide them down the right path on how to act. But can you really teach somebody to do something exactly the way you do it?
No, I don't think so. I think they're always going to find their way, but you teach them the balance between doing it correctly and then having a little fun. Like, this is a sport. We're supposed to enjoy it regardless of the pressure, which we're all under, no matter, because we're there to compete.
Yeah.
Everything's based on how well we do something. So, I mean, you just try to make sure they're doing well and having a good time and not stepping on anybody's toes or sponsors, or making sure they do it the right way, because at the end of the day, the sponsors are what's most important, and you got to make them happy.
Do you have an apprentice, somebody that you kind of take under your wing over there at Hendrick Motorsports?
I mean, I don't have one specific. I feel like throughout the years of me being there, we've seen people come and go like we have in any other team. And you try to, somebody you see that has potential or is struggling in a certain area that you know you can help, like that's kind of when you just step up and try to point them in the right direction.
That's a great point that you made. And being that you are a veteran of the sport and of that team, Pit Crew is not the only thing that you focus on, which brings me into our MoneyLion financial crew chief segment of our show. And basically, I wanted to pick your brain a little bit on what these younger crew members could be doing while they're pitting cars, but also preparing for life after pit stops. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
So correct me if I'm wrong, you owned Swell Board Shop at the time. This was a business that you were co-owned or that you started. Is that correct?
Yeah, me and my business partner, we started it back in 2014, and we recently closed it last year. But yeah, I dabbled in the retail business. It's a tough business to be in. I learned a lot. We had a lot of fun.
You say you dabbled in the retail business. What made you decide to get? All right, so let's go off the timeline. You're a tire changer first, correct? Or how does that go? You're a tire changer first, and when did the business idea come into your mind?
So, I mean, I grew up, my parents owned a business and my grandfather owned a business. So I've kind of come from that background of always having that side hustle, I guess I should say. So when I met my business partner here in North Carolina, and we found out we grew up not maybe 2 hours from each other. So we're both from Southern California, and we've always loved to do all of the sports you see, from surfing to motocross to all of the things you do in Southern California, and then still go snowboarding, because you could basically surf and snowboard the same day if you wanted to. So we kind of dabbled in, or we kind of thought about doing the retail thing of opening like a surf shop and bringing it to the lake atmospheres, because we have a huge lake here and there's tons of water sports on it. So it was kind of just an idea we were throwing around, and when the location we decided to use came about, we heard about it. It was going to be lake access, waterfront, and the ideas just started rolling. So we seeked out the landlord at the time, or the company who was leasing out the property, and just started talking. And through that, we kind of winged it and started a business. Like, and fortunately, we had some friends in the industry that helped vouch for us to get some of our big accounts that are tough to get, the big name brands, because it's hard to get your foot in the door as a brand new business with no clout. And fortunately, we were able to do that and build it from nothing, and had some fun while doing it.
Well, you say that you built the business from nothing, and you were changing tires at the time. Could you talk about any of our positive or negative experiences you might have had trying to juggle those two occupations? I mean, running a business full time is no easy venture for anybody, as well as you were competing at the highest level as a tire changer at the exact same time. There had to have been some type of frustration, some type of stress going on. Could you just give us a little insight to that?
Yeah, I mean, there's stresses in both of them, and you have to learn how to separate them, obviously. which I felt like I did a decent job at. You know, nobody's perfect, but I feel like I was able to separate the stresses and kind of leave the business in North Carolina when I had to travel and focus on racing at that time. And then Monday morning, it was right back to figuring out both.
Really? So it's safe to say that your cash card, your MoneyLion cash card was always full.
Yeah. I would have rather, I think, given it to MoneyLion and just let them invest it for me.
Well, Chad, you know, I talk to and I work around a lot of younger athletes and younger aspiring pit crew members who want to obtain the success that you've had in your career. So, I mean, we cannot emphasize how important it is for these younger crew members to think about the future. You know, granted, you can perform at a high level in this sport for over 10 years, you know, and that average is a lot better than, let's say, your NFL athletes. But at the same time, all that does is give you more time to procrastinate that process.
So true.
You know, if while we close, just anything that you can give a younger athlete, a younger pit crew member, something that he wouldn't think to ask you.
I mean, in reality, just do your research. If it's something, if you want to start something, make sure you're super passionate about it, because it's a 24/7 job. Like, it never goes away. No matter how hard you want it to, a business of your own doesn't go away. You're completely responsible for every end of it.
That's great. That's great advice. And all you young cats who are looking out there, you young females, you young male future pit crew all-stars, you know, heed the advice of Mr. Chad Avrit. He's one of the best out there and had success on both ends of the spectrum, you know, owning his own business and performing as a tire changer. And we're going to talk about that tire changer when we come back. So sit tight, stay by your phones. We'll be back.
Clutch Coffee Bar in Mooresville, North Carolina is redefining the drive-thru coffee game in Race City, USA. The Clutch experience is quick, efficient, and personal. Unmatched customer service is the name of the game. Clutch Coffee Bar offers signature espresso drinks, classic coffees, custom-flavored infused energy drinks, smoothies, and more. With over 25 flavors, there's something for everyone. Visit our 2 locations in Mooresville, 356 Williamson Road and 154 West Plaza Drive. Open daily 5 a.m. till 9 p.m. Power up today with Clutch Coffee Bar.
Winged Nation with Steve Post, Aaron Evernham, and Ashley Stremme. Your destination for all things winged sprint cars. Each Saturday at 8:30 and 11:30 a.m. on MAV TV. Live at noon on wingednation.com and Facebook Live. Join us for in-depth conversations with drivers and personalities that make up the greatest dirt racing on earth. The Winged Nation Preview Podcast each Thursday previews the upcoming weekend. Winged Nation, winged sprint car talk covering dirt tracks all across America.
Hi, this is Mike Backley. Join me and the rest of the MRN crew every Tuesday night for NASCAR Live. We'll get you up to date with the latest news stories and ready for the upcoming race weekend.
So many crazy things happen there. You know, it's one of those races where anything can happen, especially at the end.
Hear exclusive interviews, expert analysis, and much more.
Oh, yeah, boys! How about that? Oh, yeah! Great job!
It's NASCAR Live this Tuesday night at 7 Eastern on the Motor Racing Network.
All right, we're back with the MRN Crew Call presented by MoneyLion. We're going to get into the part of the show I love the most. We're going to talk pit stops. We're going to talk performing. We're going to talk balling out on these. You know the rest, Chad. I tell you all that at the track. We won't say it out loud. But anyways, we're going to talk pit stops. Tell me about Atlanta. Brad K won the race. And, you know, he's been getting a lot of attention because supposedly he had the flu. And he overcame the flu to showed a lot of tough and gritness to win that race. Has there ever been a time where you might have been a little ill or under the weather and you had to perform at a race like that?
Yeah, I mean, it happens to all of us. I think we've all been in that position. It's just one of those things you have to overcome and do the best that you can, just like I'm sure Brad K did. Obviously, he won the race.
Any race sticks out in particular?
No, I mean, I actually had one where I was unable to perform, and that's probably the one that sticks out because I literally could not stand up. Yeah.
What race was that?
It was Martinsville of, I don't know, a couple years ago. But I literally threw up the whole way there, and I was stuck in the hauler. I could not keep my eyes open. I physically
Who filled in for you?
That's a great question.
I can't remember who filled in for you.
Yeah, I have no clue, but it was terrible. So, I mean, I've been obviously on the other end where I was unable to perform, and that was an awful feeling.
Well, you alluded to this early in the show that, you know, y'all underperformed at Atlanta, you know, as it relates to the car. And where you finished. Talk about your pit stops. How was your day overall from your eyes?
It's one of those days, like when the car is when they're having a bad day with the car, obviously that requires us to do more work during our pit stop.
As far as adjustments are
Making
concerned.
adjustments, trying to figure out what we need to do. If it's rubbers, like track, we now have the track bar, which we didn't have last year. So that adds another adjustment that we can make. So overall, we did a great job, and we did our jobs and got the adjustments done that the crew chief needed, and we moved forward with the car. Had a little bad luck at the end, but overall, we did our jobs. It was a rough day because we had to make those adjustments.
I know you keep team information to the team, but can you give us a little insight to how your Monday morning meeting went?
I mean, everyone was down because overall the cars didn't perform as we thought they should have. But with the new package, I mean, there's lessons to be learned. There's things. I mean, we know where we went wrong now, so we can move forward, and that's kind of the end goal. Like, we can't just worry about Atlanta for the rest of the year. We have to worry about Vegas. It's the next race coming up.
Well, Chad, I have to say there's been a lot of excitement with you coming on the show with the young athletes that I'm around, and they've actually tweeted out some questions for you while you're in here with me. So, Brianna Daniels is asking you, Chad, I need to ask you a question since you're going to be on the MRN Crew Call show today. What advice would you give a third-year tire changer looking to attract the eye of a top 10 race team?
That's a great question. It just comes down to performance and work it. Like we talked about professionalism earlier. Like, that's a huge thing. Like, holding yourself.
Absolutely.
The way you hold yourself, the way you do your job, no matter if you think you're on a lower tier team, you're still doing it to the best of your ability.
Yes.
That's the key. And then at that, you work on your craft.
Yep. And that's a great point you touched on, because when you are working with teams out of the top 10, you have to realize as a young crew member that all the other teams get to see you perform. Because if you are a lap down or you're not on that lead lap, you don't pit when the lead lap cars pit. You're pitting on your own when the other lap down cars pit. Therefore, all the top tier teams, they get to watch you perform. So
absolutely,
you have to treat it that way.
No pressure.
no pressure or anything. Okay, we got another question. This comes from Keyston France. He said, Chad, what are some tips and tricks? What are some tips and or tricks to prevent loose lug nuts during a pit stop? So Keyston is a tire changer, obviously. He's like, what are some tips and tricks to prevent loose lug nuts?
Yeah, that's just focusing on your craft once again. Like, make sure your air pressures are right. Make sure you're hitting square lug nuts. You see every lug nut. I mean, it's one of those things that if you just start skipping over and going for speed instead of accuracy, you're probably gonna have a few loose lugs.
Okay. Good point. That was for Keyston. And last one coming from Jarek Newsom. How did you train to be so fast around the rear of the race car when transitioning from the right side to the left side of the race car?
I feel that kind of comes from where you grew up, like what you did growing up. Like, you work on your footwork.
They're prying. They're trying to get the info from you, man.
I don't know how much information I actually want to give. I feel like I got a few years left.
They're trying to get it.
Yeah, I mean, we do a lot of ladder drills, a lot of footwork. Like, in college or whatever sport you played, you had to work on your footwork, and I think that's key.
Okay.
Body control.
Now, Nicole Lyons has a few questions for you as well that she submitted, and the first question begins with, Chad Avrit, how long does it take you to get ready to go out for the evening? Two-part question. And does your hair care allow you to get ready in less than 45 minutes?
Oh, yeah, easy. I've got it down to a science. I've been doing it so long. I'd say roughly 30 minutes, and I'm good to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's another one for you. So you run out with your tire carrier, and you know it's a time when you both are going to get hit by the race car, yet one person can be saved from the hit. Do you push your tire carrier out of the way and take the hit, or do you escape and let your carrier roll over the hood?
Well, that's an easy question because you're sitting here asking me. How would I react? I have no clue. What am I going to say? I'm going to push my tire carrier out of the way and take the hit.
Yeah, right. Whatever. It's every man for himself right there.
Right? Hey, maybe that would be my reaction. But hey, right now I'm going to say I'd save him.
I've been hit by a few cars and never have did I feel a nudge of a hand of a changer?
Yeah, you should have been my carrier.
Looking out for me and my well-being. Okay.
drive me crazy. You're sloppy because you're off balance.
Oh, gosh, that's a good one. Yeah, exactly. Only you. So thanks, Daryl. Our producer, Daryl, is the comedian. But, okay, and the last one coming from Nicole. Describe the most fulfilling moment you have ever experienced in your career at NASCAR. I mean, that's a pretty broad question, but.
That is a broad question. I think there's a couple of my, I mean, there's so many memorable ones when we won the Brickyard with Jeff and then his last race at Martinsville. That was a huge one. And then obviously now I have Chase's first Cup win. So I think there's been a few that I've had at Hendrick that have definitely been memorable.
A few.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
Well, I have a personal question for you. You know, Chad, how long do you foresee yourself as a top-tier tire changer in this sport, performing at a – you seem like the type of guy I feel like if you couldn't do it at a high level, you wouldn't do it at all, right?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, at 25, I got at least 15 years left, right?
You right. Hey, you're in there, man. You're in there. I mean, so great talking to you today, Chad. I have a little bit more. Can you stick around a little bit longer?
Sure, I got a minute.
Y'all stay by your phones. We'll be right back.
Who's Rocko?
Rocko, my boy, you know? You know Rocko?
Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires will get you there. Whether you're running on dirt or running a job. Our dependable, high-quality tires are the perfect fit for your needs. For unmatched value, selection, and warranty with industry-leading road hazard protection, there's only one choice, Hercules Tires. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com or call 800-677-9535. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
Did you know that banks collected over $15 billion in unnecessary bank fees last year? Come on, enough is enough. It's time we took back control of our finances. That's why MoneyLion is proud to bring you the Financial Crew Chief and to be a NASCAR sponsor. Look, no one knows more about hard work and pursuing their dreams than NASCAR fans, drivers, and teams. So we want to bring you the kind of banking that the big banks would never build, with features like zero-fee checking and zero-fee investment accounts. And because life is also meant for a join, with MoneyLion, NASCAR fans get even more. We're giving away 1,500 NASCAR tickets to our members this year. Plus, you can get 5% cash back on NASCAR tickets, at-track purchases, and all purchases at NASCAR.com. Learn more at MoneyLion.com or download our app. This is America's most powerful financial membership. MoneyLion. Here we roar.
All right, and we are back with the MRN Crew Call presented by MoneyLion. I'm in studio with the Chad Avrit, rear tire changer for the number 9, driven by Chase Elliott. It's a Chevy Camaro ZL1. I just like saying that. Is it just my opinion, or do the cars look better this year?
I mean, they look great.
They look good.
Don't you drive one?
No.
Oh.
I don't.
I would assume you did.
I drive a foreign right now. I'm in a foreign. But anyways.
NASCAR.
So, who were you pitted next to? Because what cars were you pitted next to this
the 37 was behind us, and who was in front of us? I only pay attention to who's behind us, to be honest.
But hey, well, you do know Anthony Pursuit.
I do.
Anthony Pursuit is a Hendrick employee, Hendrick recruit or athlete, I should say. And I guess maybe you can explain if Anthony Pursuit works for Hendrick Motorsports, why was he on the 37 car?
So at Hendrick Motorsports, I guess originally they were developed, but now there are backups. Work for JTG on Sundays.
Okay.
So they pit the 47 and the 37. And that's to get them reps and make sure they're prepared to go in if one of us was to go down.
Well, he went down. And I just wanted to bring that up because it was of very, I don't know, I hate to see that happen, to any athlete over the wall, but he was pinned between the wall and the race car of the 52, driven by B.J. McLeod. And basically, it was one of those unfortunate events where you couldn't predict anything like that to happen, where a car that is pitted behind the 37, correct, was spun out and fishtailed and swerved within the pit box and pinned the gas man in the team in the stall directly in front of them to the wall. He ended up suffering the injuries were Pursuit suffered a broken fibula, a torn ACL, and other injuries to his right leg during Sunday's Fields of Honor Quick Trick 500. So thoughts and prayers go out to Anthony. You know, he's a tough guy. You know, he played football as well, and speedy recovery as well. I don't know the time frame on that type of recovery, but make sure that when you see him, let him know that we at Crew Call are thinking of him.
He's definitely a tough guy. He tried to walk it off.
Really?
Yeah. So, yeah, after they kind of checked it out, he got up and he's like, oh, maybe I think I'm okay. And they were like, no, you need to go to the hospital.
Man, that is tough. Well, I know you're already aware of this, Chad, but on MRN Crew Call, we created a 2019 Clutch coffee bar, performers to watch in 2019. And
okay,
if we could bring that list up, you know, this is something that I'm very proud of, that we can expose the guys that are doing an awesome job and have been doing an awesome job for multiple years. On the first, we have Cam Wall from the number 18 front tire changer. Do you know Cam?
Yeah, I definitely know Cam. Worked with him for a little while.
TJ Ford is on the number 18 as well. So those two representatives from number 18 as a Jackman. What do you know about TJ?
I know he recently got married.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations, TJ Ford. Shane Papalia, what do you know about Shane?
I worked with Shane a few years, too. He was back at Red Bull. He helped out for a little while.
So he's well-deserving of somebody to watch
Absolutely.
out for. Coleman Dollarhigh. We all know Coleman. Coleman has been around since the dinosaurs, hasn't he? And he's still doing it, right?
I don't know. I'm too young.
You don't know. He's going to love that one. And finally, who's that guy that we have on the far right? Chad Avrit.
Oh, apparently I made it.
2019.
I'm honored.
Clutch performers to watch. Top 25 to watch. So this list is basically every week we're going to have 5 individuals that we're going to showcase on a list to watch. And then after the 6th race, we will be finished with an updating our official rankings per position.
Okay. So are you bringing them back in? Like, should I just plan on being here in 6 weeks? I'll stick it on my calendar.
You're Molly full of yourself. You think you're going to be on that top
Hey, you
5
brought me
rankings?
here.
Yeah, you're right. You might be on that list. You might be. We'll see. But like I said, it's going to be fun to watch because with the races that we have coming up with Las Vegas, it'll be another triple header in Las Vegas. Then we have Phoenix after that. And then what's after Phoenix? Is that Fontana?
California.
Fontana. Hometown race for you. Is that a hometown race for you? Do you look at it like that?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, it's kind of just as close to my hometown as Phoenix would be.
Mm-hmm.
So I lived in Phoenix. I've never lived in Fontana technically.
Okay.
So either way, I'll take either one.
Are you excited about this week? What do you got to look forward to for Vegas?
I mean, there's slick pit boxes. We just have to prepare, you know.
When are you flying out?
Flying out Saturday morning.
Saturday morning. So that gives you a full day Saturday to rehydrate, stay off your feet in your hotel to get ready for that Vegas race Sunday, right?
I mean, it could be hot, so yeah, definitely.
A lot of hydration in your room. What hotel you staying at?
Aria, I believe.
Oh, you're at the Aria?
Mm-hmm.
What room number you in?
I don't know yet.
Oh, okay, just making sure. Anyways, Chad, we wish you all the luck. First of all, thank you for coming on the show. And thank you for all the advice you gave the young athletes who are looking to be in the position that you're in. And definitely good luck for you in Las Vegas. And we look forward to having you on again when that list comes out, right?
Perfect. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on. I'm Rocko Williams, and thanks for listening. MRN Crew Call presented by MoneyLion. Peace.